Bama being left out of the CFP was truly a disaster, and this is being debated again by fans. Well, I don't know what Stephen Smith thinks about this or what he might think, but fans still don't agree with SMU's inclusion. Let's talk about it, but first subscribe to this channel for more commentary on Bama. The college football playoff brought the long-awaited expansion to 12 teams, but like all new developments, the choices generate controversy. This time, the central point of controversy revolves around Alabama's exclusion in favor of teams like SMU and Indiana. And the first half of the game between SMU and Penn State only added fuel to the fire. With the score 28-0 in Penn State's favor at halftime, critics, including many Alabama fans, are taking advantage of the moment to question the legitimacy of the team selection. It's not just about quarterback Kevin Jennings' mistakes, who threw 3 interceptions and set up 2 touchdowns for the opposing defense. It's about what this performance represents on a stage that should bring together the best teams in the country. Alabama, with Kalen DeBoer, ended the season strong, but was punished by the committee for a slow start and stumbles on the road. However, the Crimson Tide's final stretch showed a more cohesive team, with plenty of potential to compete with the best. SMU's narrow loss to Clemson in the ACC championship weighed in favor of the Mustangs, but now many wonder if their one-night performance was enough to justify the spot. This sentiment is not isolated. Prominent voices, such as Ole Miss's Lane Kiffin and Alabama's athletic director Greg Byrne, had already questioned the selection process before the games even began. Today, those criticisms are echoed by the disappointment of seeing teams like SMU stumble on a stage where Alabama has historically been the protagonist. And it's not just SMU. Indiana's loss to Notre Dame, in a game largely dominated by the Fighting Irish, reinforces the impression that the committee may have placed too much weight on factors like narrative and novelty when choosing the participants. Alabama, a program with plenty of pedigree and the experience to shine in pressure moments, was left out, while less consistent teams had their chance and, so far, have failed to deliver. The criticism, however, is not coming only from Alabama fans. There is a growing clamor for changes to the selection process. A focus on strength of schedule metrics that favor more challenging opponents is a nearly unanimous request. After all, what's the point of having a playoff expansion if the decisions don't reflect what happens on the field? Alabama has faced tough battles in the SEC, one of the most competitive environments in college football, while others have navigated relatively more accessible schedules. The argument that Alabama didn't deserve a spot because it went 1-3 in SEC road games simply ignores the level of difficulty of the conference. As some commentators have rightly argued, overall performance, improvement over the season, and ability to compete against the best should carry more weight. Even Miami, Ole Miss, and South Carolina, cited by critics, seem to have made a stronger case than SMU or Indiana. This 12-team playoff was supposed to be a celebration of excellence in college football. But so far, it feels like another missed opportunity. The strength and resilience that Alabama demonstrated throughout the season has been overlooked, and now the committee needs to address the criticism. This isn't just about being Alabama, as some suggest. This is about recognizing what an elite program brings to the game: competitiveness, excitement, and the knowledge that when the chips are down, they will rise to the occasion. If there's one positive to come out of this debate, it's an opportunity to rethink the system. You can't let the narrative overshadow the performance. And if SMU's first half against Penn State taught us anything, it's that tradition and big game experience still matter. Alabama certainly has a lot more to offer on the field than we're seeing right now. What do you think? The college football landscape is ever-changing, and the transfer portal has become an inescapable factor for teams across the country. Yet even in the face of departures, Alabama continues to show resilience and unity, and no one epitomizes that more than running back Jam Miller. Amid a wave of transfers that has hit the Crimson Tide like every other elite program, Miller has made it clear that this is not the time to make excuses, but to look at what the team still has. "Whatever we have is all we need," he said, demonstrating maturity and confidence in his teammates. That mindset reflects Alabama's philosophy under Kalen DeBoer, focusing on what can be controlled and trusting in the depth of the roster. With 641 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns in the 2024 regular season, Miller has been a key part of Alabama's offense. But his impact goes beyond statistics. His leadership on and off the field gives the team much-needed stability in a time of transition. The transfer portal, while inevitable, is not seen by Miller as a threat, but rather as a test of the strength of the group that remains in Tuscaloosa. The announcement that he will return to the program next season is a relief to fans and a reaffirmation of the Tide's commitment to the ongoing rebuild. At a time when loyalty to the program is becoming increasingly rare in college football, Miller's decision is a reminder that Alabama still has a strong culture that attracts and retains committed talent. As the Tide prepares for the ReliaQuest Bowl, Miller's confidence in his teammates is a key factor. With renewed commitment from players like him, Alabama continues to show why it is an elite program. Transfers may affect depth for the moment, but with leaders like Miller at the helm, the future of the Crimson Tide remains bright. Let's move on. Bama's game changer? The latest move involves former Alabama offensive lineman Miles McVay, who is now joining North Carolina. McVay, a 4-star recruit out of Illinois, decided to seek new challenges after the end of the 2024 season, opting to transfer to the Tar Heels. During his time with the Crimson Tide, McVay had a limited role, playing mostly on special teams and occasionally as a tackle on specific plays. While he is not a central piece of Alabama's offensive line, his versatility and experience at an elite program like the Tide make him a valuable addition to North Carolina. For Alabama, this departure is part of the new reality imposed by the transfer portal, where even top programs have to deal with losing talent amid a constant search for renewal. However, the Tide's depth and tradition under Kalen DeBoer ensures that the team is always ready to fill the gaps. The program has a long history of developing top-notch offensive linemen, and that philosophy will continue to be a cornerstone of the team's success. McVay's move represents a significant opportunity for North Carolina, gaining a player with experience in one of the most competitive environments in college football. McVay's time in Tuscaloosa has certainly prepared him to contribute more directly to his new team, and the Tar Heels are hoping he can bring Alabama's winning mentality to Chapel Hill. These moves reflect both the challenges and opportunities of the transfer portal. For players like McVay, it's a chance to redefine his trajectory and seek more playing time. Good luck to him, while Bama continues to look for new recruits. What's next for Jalen Milroe? In the heart of Tuscaloosa, Jalen Milroe's impact on the Alabama Crimson Tide this 2024 season is a testament not only to his undeniable talent, but also to a strategic continuity that began under the legendary Nick Saban and has evolved under the leadership of Kalen DeBoer. Milroe, projected to be a top prospect in the 2025 NFL Draft, is an example of what happens when raw potential meets high-level guidance. Milroe's trajectory is remarkable. In a challenging year for Alabama, with a 9-3 record and a 5-3 performance in the demanding SEC, he has managed to lift the team, providing consistent leadership and impressive numbers. His 15 touchdowns and 2,652 passing yards with a 65.9% completion percentage, along with 20 rushing touchdowns and 719 rushing yards, demonstrate a complete quarterback capable of impacting the game in every phase. The offensive spark he brought to the Crimson Tide is impossible to ignore. Under the watchful eye of Kalen DeBoer, Milroe refined his technique and strengthened his ability to read the game, which is essential in such a competitive conference. DeBoer, who took over at Alabama after Nick Saban left, quickly put his stamp on the program. While the transition was challenging, his innovative approach and ability to keep the team's demands high were crucial to the development of Milroe and the team as a whole. Saban's role, however, cannot be overlooked. Before his departure, he established a culture of excellence that molded athletes like Milroe, preparing them for success at both the college and professional levels. DeBoer, in turn, built on that solid foundation, bringing his unique offensive vision and a modern twist to the Crimson Tide system. Now, as rumors about Milroe's future gather pace, the possibility of him joining the Cleveland Browns in the upcoming NFL draft is a reflection of his status as one of the nation's top prospects. The Browns, currently struggling with a tough campaign and uncertainty surrounding Deshaun Watson, could benefit immensely from Milroe's energy and multifaceted skills. His ability to extend plays with his legs and throw with precision would make him a valuable asset to any offense. For Alabama, Milroe's legacy goes beyond his stats. He embodies the resilience and determination that define the Crimson Tide. Even in a season that was considered below historical expectations, he managed to keep the team competitive, culminating in a berth in the ReliaQuest Bowl against Michigan. That game, scheduled for December 31st, will be more than a farewell for Milroe. It will be a celebration of his contributions to the program and a testament to the work of two coaches who, at different times, believed in and invested in his potential. Milroe's NFL future looks bright, but his journey to Alabama is already a milestone. For Crimson Tide fans, it represents the continuation of a tradition of excellence, even in changing times. And for Kalen DeBoer, it's a strategic win that shows Alabama remains a powerhouse in developing talent and adapting to the demands of modern football. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.